try reversing the symbols, Caladia suggested. That should send it back. Normally, her friends didn't sit in on her spellcraft practice sessions, but in this case, Mariel was glad they'd come. They didn't judge her for mucking up magic the way her family did. Mariel took a deep breath, then marked the counter with chalk again, a pentagram, then the reverse summoning marks in each arm of the inverted star. Her handwriting wobbled with the attempt. Hecate, why was writing backwards so hard? At least this was a fairly simple summoning and wouldn't require any of the big witchy guns like salt, sage, or newt sperm. The more complex the spell, the more opportunities to fuck it up. For the billionth time, Mariel wished magic was as easy as baking or gardening. But while Mariel had perfected a killer cranberry tart and raised beautiful flowers, she couldn't manage even a simple cleaning spell without making a horrible mistake. Embarrassing for any witch, but doubly so for the prophesied Spark heir. Before Mariel's birth, the wind, earth, and stars had all signified that she was going to be the strongest witch in generations of the famed magic family. Joke's on them, Mariel thought, as she marked another uneven rune into the pentagram. I suck. The chicken flapped awkwardly, then plummeted to the floor in a rustle of feathers. It started clucking, pecking perilously close to her ankles. Mariel closed her eyes and thought about her spell. Magic incantations weren't spoken in Latin, much to her chagrin, since at least Latin had a logical structure. Magic had a language all its own, one that was frustratingly complex. It was full of roots pulled from dozens of languages, as well as some that seemed made up wholesale, and the rules of grammar and conjugation were chaotic at best. Sometimes she was tempted to light the dictionary on fire. Chanticleer just took a dump on your floor, Themi said. Chanticleer was a rooster, Mariel said, eyes still closed. Excuse me, Chaucer enthusiast, and ew, that chicken apparently eats a lot of fiber. Great. Mariel scrunched up her nose and dug for the words that would send the chicken back home before it sullied her kitchen further. Adolescen dipulo, she proclaimed. The chicken exploded. Alfrasen, Caladia said gently while Mariel scrubbed the floor. The correct word was Alfrasen. Too late. Tears pricked Mariel's eyes, and her stomach churned with nausea. She was generally okay with blood, but she'd just exploded a very cute chicken, and it felt different. Not to mention the grisly, bony bits that were sprayed all over her countertops. Her magic was apparently more like a Jackson Pollock painting than she'd thought. Mariel had a batch of muffins to make for Ms. Rostow down the street, but she wasn't sure she'd be able to stomach it. Themi, too, looked nauseated. She was hovering near the ceiling as far from the carnage as possible. At least it died quickly. And at least Themi had stopped documenting the scene. Her followers probably wouldn't enjoy a chicken snuff film. Mariel sat back on her heels and wiped her brow. Her skin came back streaked with blood, and she groaned, realizing chicken chunks were probably all over her, too. I suck. You don't suck, Caladia said, coming to Mariel's defense, as she always did. Learning how to summon takes time, and you're amazing at nature magic. Sure, it took time, but the two witches were the same age, and while Caladia had been successfully summoning for over a decade, Mariel was 28, with the skills of a 15-year-old, except when it came to plants, but... You know, my mom doesn't think much of nature magic, Mariel said morosely, understatement of the century. Your mom's taste is questionable in general. Who cares so long as it makes you happy? I care. Mom says she'll only pay for grad school once I improve in teleportation and transmogrification. Her mother, Diantha Spark, was one of the best teleporters in the world and couldn't understand why Mariel struggled with that skill, especially considering the prophecy. While Diantha had insisted on paying for college and a house for Mariel, in fact, it had been a battle to convince her that Mariel only needed a small bungalow rather than a mansion with a bowling alley. She'd balked at the idea of grad school, and not because it was too expensive. A dragon with a hoarding problem and a black Amex couldn't dream of making a dent in the funds the Sparks had been building for centuries.